You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and be sure to smash that like button. Hey, earlier this week, the coaching carousel started spinning. Rice fired Mike Bloomgren on Sunday. The Owls did appear in 2 bowl games under Bloomgren, but this year they're just 2-6 to start the season, so they canned him. It was interesting because CBS put out a sort of like a wish list, prospective candidates for that job, and among the 2 that they mentioned, among the names they mentioned, 2 are LSU assistants, and not the ones you'd expect, because I think most people, when we're talking about LSU assistants, maybe in line for a head coaching job, a lot of people are thinking Joe Sloan, Blake Baker. They list Cortez Hankton and Slade Nagle. And I think for either of those guys, this would be a really good opportunity if they were to get it. And look, let's be clear. I mean, when we talk about Cortez having the OC role or title, Joe Sloan is the one calling the plays. And I think there is a collaborative effort among all the coaches offensively. But so often, whenever you want to keep good coaches, and Cortez Hankton is a really good coach. Look at how seamless LSU has transitioned from great wide receivers to the next. I mean, from when Kayshon Boutte was here, when Cortez Hankton came in, the emergence of Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas, and now Kyron Lacey, the development of Aaron Anderson year to year. Like, it's undeniable what he's been able to do. And he's also a great recruiter. Played in the NFL. There's a lot to like about Cortez Hankton. But so often when you're talking about titles, like, you have to, if you are an upwardly mobile coach, you have to have the title. Whether you're calling the plays or not, the title has to be there in many ways to sell, to justify it, to get the name recognition. So Hankton's got that, and he's worthy. Look, he's been everywhere as well. He played in the NFL. He coached at Dartmouth in the Ivy League. He coached at Vanderbilt, so he's been in the SEC before he went to Georgia, and now he's at LSU. So he's been in small schools, big schools, tough places to coach and win, places that have unlimited resources, and, of course, played in the NFL. He went to St. Aug in New Orleans, so rooted in New Orleans, played collegiately at Texas Southern, so in the Houston area. So there's a tie there to the Houston area if ultimately the Rice job is one that fits him, so that makes a lot of sense. And then Slade Nagle is interesting as well, because Slade Nagle is obviously LSU's tight ends coach and also working with special teams as well. But he's a guy that is certainly also known as a phenomenal recruiter. And remember, Nagle became the interim head coach at Tulane when Willie Fritz left for the Houston job. So when you look at Slade Nagle, when LSU hired him, I loved it because this is a guy with a ton of experience in Louisiana, is a great recruiter, had history as a tight ends coach and a special teams coach. Remember, you lose Mike Denbrock, you needed a tight ends coach, you hadn't hired a special teams coordinator. There's a lot of reasons this made sense. So again, Slade Nagle was a GA at Northwestern State. He coached in the JUCO ranks in Texas. Back to Northwestern State, coached at LSU in 2009, then went to Texas State, Central Arkansas, McNeese, then Tulane from 16 to 23, finishing there as the interim head coach. So he's got a long resume, man. Over 20 years as an assistant, waiting and building for that opportunity to be a head coach. And this might be that opportunity for a guy like Slade Nagle. I think Rice would be good for either Hankton or Slade Nagle because it is really difficult to get a Power 5 head coaching job if you don't have head coaching experience or if you're a coordinator. Like, we commonly see Dave Aranda go LSU DC to Baylor. Lincoln Riley from Oklahoma offensive coordinator to Oklahoma head coach, right? You can be Kirby Smart, Bama DC, Bama head coach. Jeremy Pruitt, Bama DC, Tennessee head coach. Now, I know a lot of that was the Saban tree, but still, it's more common that if you're a high-level Power 5 coordinator, then you can get a Power 5 head coaching job. Or you'd have to be a really successful G5 coach like Billy Napier at ULL getting the Florida job. You don't often see a position coach make the leap to Power 5 head coach. So you got to go G5 job, crush it, and then get the better job. So for Hankton or Nagle, the Rice job would be a great opportunity for that. You go from position coach to head coach at a G5, crush it, then maybe get that better opportunity. We'll see. Hankton's got the championship pedigree at Georgia. Remember, Nagle coached at Tulane, which is in the American Athletic Conference, which is the conference Rice is in now as well. So familiarity with the AAC. There's a lot that makes sense for these guys. And if you're Brian Kelly, it always sucks to lose assistants, but there's two sides to that coin. Yeah, you never want to have turnover on your staff, but whenever your assistants are advancing and getting better jobs, your position coaches become coordinators, or coordinators becoming head coaches, then you can sell that to other assistants, and so you can keep replacing them. And that's something Brian Kelly's done very well. You start to look at the quote-unquote Brian Kelly tree. I mean, Clark Lee, I guess Marcus Freeman counts to a degree, Bob Diaco, but then you can even look at guys like Butch Jones. I know it didn't work out at Tennessee, but Butch Jones was really good at Cincinnati following Brian Kelly. Robert Saleh was a Brian Kelly assistant. You remember Robert Saleh with the Jets? He was a Brian Kelly assistant at Central Michigan back in the day. Matt LaFleur was an assistant at Notre Dame under Brian Kelly. Autry Denson, who played running back at Notre Dame, coached under Brian Kelly for 4 years. He's now a head coach as well, I think at Charleston Southern. Or was there. Anyway, the point is, Kelly's got a pretty good history there of schools plucking away assistants and getting guys to become head coaches. And maybe this could be a good opportunity at Rice for either Cortez Hankton or Slade Nagle. We'll keep you posted if it does transpire that way, but just something to keep on your radar. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.